Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Mermail Master coming at you with the first in a series of card discussions. Now I decided to try and create these videos to discuss cards that I thought were interesting or stuff that I think people may want to hear discussions on. So I decided to start this video with the card from the new set, which is called the Forceful Checkpoint. And this is kind of like a updated version of the Forceful Sentry, supposedly, where you can see that in its effect. And the Forceful Checkpoint, you can see the Forceful Sentry on there. You can see the Humble Sentry. That monster in the picture is Supply, and the little goblin in there is the goblin from the jar. So this secret rare is not really that good of a card at all, in my opinion, mostly because it requires your opponent to attack. And we all know that like Mirror Force, when it steadily went back from 1 to 2 to 3, still was not really played as often as it should have been. Or maybe not, because like most of the cards that you have like pop stuff before battle phase, or had a way to get around it. But the Forceful Checkpoint's effect reads that when a monster declares an attack, you look at your opponent's hand, and then if they have a monster in their hand, negate the attack, and then discard any monster from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. So on the plus side, it's a good card because it has the ability to negate an attack, and you can select any monster in your opponent's hand and then discard that card to the graveyard. That's pretty much the only good thing about the Forceful Checkpoint, though. The worst part about the Forceful Checkpoint is that basically it requires you first and foremost to have an opponent's monster who declares an attack. And there's so many better cards that trigger when your opponent's monster declares an attack. There's like Magic Cylinder, Mirror Force, Drowning Mirror Force, Storming Mirror Force, Blazing Mirror Force. Pretty much all of those, net you pluses immediately. And then when you're activating the Forceful Checkpoint, you're betting on the chance that your opponent is going to have a monster in their hand in order for you to discard it. So at the first point, you have a very high chance of possibly going -1 if your opponent doesn't have that card. You activate the Forceful Checkpoint for nothing. Your opponent just keeps getting to have their attack because it doesn't negate the attack, and then you look and discard a monster if there is one in the hand. You have to look at the hand first, and then if there's a monster, that's when you can negate the attack. So that's a little bit another red flag for this card for me. And then finally, the third red flag for this is that it requires you to discard the card. We know how much stuff like gets pluses from discarding. If it had said, banish the card, if it had said, put the card back into the deck, like shuffle it back into the deck, or put it even on the top of the deck, you select something like, Trap Dust Shoot or something like that, it would have been a much better card. This is a TCG exclusive, so I don't know personally what they were thinking when they designed it, or if Konami of Japan had some say in it, but it was still not really that good of a card in my opinion. And it's just really not something that you would probably want to run in any deck. It could be fun and stuff, but it's got like the uncertainty and chance of running a card like Rebound, which is a good card if you're able to get off its ability, but is not really that good. So this has been a card review on the Forceful Checkpoint. If you find some use for this card, please let me know. I like to find use in pretty much everything that I see, so I don't think there's any like completely useless cards. Like everything has a reason. So if you have anything to say, please like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think of this video, and if you want to see more content like this. And this has been the Mermail Master, and I'm signing out. Peace.